There is just something for everybody with Learning Blade, no matter where you teach or what demographic, or, you know, it really is a program that lends itself to differentiation and really provides teachers with a fabulous pre-made way to expose your kids to STEM. We just feel really lucky to be a part of it at CGLA.
Being a STEM teacher and using Learning Blade has been fantastic. I love the interdisciplinary options for my STEM kids because they can learn about careers, they can learn about real world activities and make connections with what's happening in the real world, like we did with the flu outbreak.
Initially, we utilized Learning Blade to offer our students strong connections to STEM careers, and opportunities for students to, it's one of the SEPs, or the science and engineering practices, around obtaining, communicating, and evaluating information, where they're using informational text. And because Learning Blade is saturated with opportunities for students to use literacy, they can do some problem-based learning with a definitely supports around literacy. We initially started there.
Every time we use it, we come away with at least 1 or 2 students who say, "Whew, that's something I could see myself doing when I grow up. I didn't even know that that was a job. I didn't know that you could do that for a living." So it's really given our kids an exposure to a lot of careers that we would not have normally had time or resources to connect our students with in more of a traditional sense.
I think that Learning Blade has done a marvelous job. Kudos to the designers who have come up with these concepts. The designers have taken the time to, really research the STEM careers and have punched so much information into these small little snippets of lessons, because the lessons are, they're packed with so much information, but they're so manageable in time for the students. It takes a student 10, maybe 15 minutes to complete a lesson, but they learn so much in those 10 or 15 minutes that it's just phenomenal. And the students are excited about learning about those STEM careers. So I think Learning Blade has done a fantastic job.
Learning Blade was a lifesaver for me. Not only was I able, it's a user-friendly platform for me, but like I said previously, it allowed me and it gave me, this buildable idea to where I didn't have to be an expert about STEM. I didn't have to be an expert on anything career related. It gave me just enough to take those ideas and just blow them up, and the kids just loved them.
So the fact that Learning Blade is tied to standards in all the content areas, you get that interdisciplinary, the literacy piece of it, there's even math skills within the program, but then the career connections in STEM for students.
When schools started closing for the coronavirus pandemic, we quickly jumped on the fact that as we were trying to create self-paced and self-engaged learning activities for our students to complete, the setup of the Learning Blade program and the fact that our students were already familiar with it made it an incredible learning tool for us to engage with during that opportunity. I definitely think that as we're moving towards looking at possible extensions of our distance learning going into the upcoming school year, that Learning Blade will continue to play a really key role in how we engage with our students. One of the comments one of my fellow teachers made was that she really appreciates the fact that students are coming out of the Learning Blade opportunity with new facts about the topic. They're given a chance to be exposed to career fields that they've never been exposed to and look at skill sets in real life scenarios. And so that's something that can continue to fit in really comfortably with our curriculum as we move forward. Again, the fact that it's self-paced, the fact that it can happen asynchronously outside of a traditional classroom setting makes this a really strong tool that we have in our toolbox going forward with distance learning.
During the school shutdown, it was a really lifesaver for me, because going from doing 90% of hands-on projects, group work in class, like we were right in the middle of a bridge project, and I was like, how am I going to have my kids who are working on groups do that at home? So Learning Blade really gave me something that kids could do at home that was meaningful.
And then also when COVID-19 kind of hit and we saw, you know, really our teachers had one day to put together work packets. And so having that accessibility for students who could access them online at home and use Learning Blade for learning, as well as those printables, is kind of where we saw some of the use. But most of it was in our Tier 1 intervention in all grade levels.
Yes, I've been able to use Learning Blade for distance learning, and I've been actually Learning Blade has been my go-to lessons because we were limited with how many live sessions we could teach with the students. So I had to have something for them to kind of work on throughout the week until I had my live session with them.
I would definitely recommend Learning Blade to other schools in the state. I think there's a lot of functionality to it, and it can fit in a lot of different niches in a curriculum for a district.
I would recommend Learning Blade to other teachers, other schools, other districts. So even though you might start out thinking it's STEM activities, if you look at the various missions and the various lesson plans, they fit in with almost any subject in every school.
I would absolutely recommend Learning Blade to every teacher and every homeschool parent that's out there. And I think that it's a really eye-opening experience for those kids.
Absolutely would recommend Learning Blade to everybody. In fact, I already have. I've recommended it to all of our Career Center teachers, all of the middle schools, our high schools. With Learning Blade, you guys have made it so easy for us to get access to do what we need to do